SMU looks like they just squeaked by Duke last week, but they won that game despite being -6 in the turnover department.
Yeah.
So that's a little bit of a misleading final score there based on that. And not many times are you going to win a game being -6. All you have to do is ask Syracuse, who was -5 turnover differential in their loss to Pitt last week. And even though that score was 41-14, you got to take into consideration Pitt returned 2 interceptions for touchdowns, and they were outgained in that game by 90 yards 110 yards, and they only amassed 217 yards of total offense despite scoring 41 points. So a lot of that lopsided score, you have to sort of account for the turnover margin in that game. And their last 2 games, they were so explosive to start the year offensively, but I just mentioned the 217 against Syracuse, and they had less than 300 yards of offense against California the week before. So, again, 7-0, but they have not, even though you say they haven't played the likes of Jacksonville State all year long, they still haven't faced a team ranked in the top 25 all season long, Press. And 3 of their wins came by 4 points or fewer. So SMU, again, this is a team with 1 loss. Prez just mentioned their dominating performances beside the near miss here against Duke last week. But this is a team that's 458 yards or more in their last 4. And also the fact that their only loss came at home against number 9 and undefeated BYU, and that was just 18-15. Right. And, you know, again, to finalize, you got a lower-ranked team with 1 loss. They're playing a higher-ranked team, and they're favored by more than a touchdown against an undefeated foe. I mean, to me, they're begging you to take the underdog here, Steve. I'm going to take SMU, and I'm going to lay to 7.5. I'm not going to worry about the hook on a key number. I think SMU wins this one handily.
Ross, I'm going to throw to Steve to ask you a follow-up here, but I just want to quickly mention, and feel free to add to this. You know, look, all 3 of us are old guys, and we've been doing this for decades. I'd like to say to the listeners out there, you know, you mentioned that Pitt hasn't played a team in the top 25, and that's important. And I have not handicapped this game yet, so I have no horse in this race. What I want to mention is it's not as important as it used to be. And I don't want people to get caught up in this, a team hasn't played someone in the top 25 yet. 10 years ago, an absolutely crucial statistic. Today, not so much, Ross. Perhaps in the top 10, top 5, but there's so much parity. The 25th best team in college football is no different to the 40th best team in college football, and could easily swap in the ratings over a 2-week period. So I just want to throw that out there to everybody. Steve?
Yeah, and if you want to see more about top 25, as you know, Ross, I do a top 25 video every week here on Saturday's games. And this, of course, will be in that video because, like you said, it's 2 top 20 teams. I want to ask you, though, big picture about the ACC. I mean, it's basically Clemson and everybody else at this point, although Miami's in second place. They're 8-0 overall. It's another top 20 team. It's been impressive. They actually, along with Pitt, are the only 2 undefeated teams in the ACC. Clemson, of course, does have 1 loss like SMU. Florida State was preseason top 10. They have been horrendously bad. When it's all said and done, is it Clemson winning this conference, getting the automatic bid, or do you think one of these other teams can surprise?
I still wouldn't count Miami out. I mean, I think that what people are looking at right now is the decisive manner in which Clemson has been winning since that loss against Georgia in their season opener. But, you know, and Miami sort of doesn't get the highest ranking that they possibly could, despite the record, because of the fact they've had a lot of close calls. But I'm not ready to mail it in with Clemson yet. I think Miami will have a say in what goes on, and be quite frank, I would lean more toward Miami winning the ACC before it's all said and done, but it's yet to be seen. And to Prez's point, he's absolutely correct. Let's not forget, in the AP, we're bringing in the human element. Okay, it's writers across the country. It's a coach's poll. A lot of these guys, it's just an extra task for them to do every week, and they're stating the obvious. So, yes, the top 25 is nowhere near what it used to be in terms of how you should account for it. I guess why I brought that up, Prez, was the fact that SMU being the lower ranked team at -7.5, and people want to know why.
Yeah.
I think it tends to go toward strength of schedule. That's all I was trying to say. College football since December 2nd of 2022, 113-78, 59%. And Prez, I told you how good 46-24 is, and I'm sure you will reiterate the fact that when you go 59% over 191 college football picks,
incredible,
over close to a 2-year period of time, that's not bad either. Check out all my streaks, folks, by just simply going to my personal link at Wager Talk. That's wt.buzz/RB. Also, some very affordable subscription plans, 3-day, 7-day, 30-day, 90-day, and each individual sport, you could buy subscription plans as well.